Hey everybody, we're looking at number 5. John has a block of clay that is 3 1/3 inch long, 2 1/4 inch wide, and 4 inches high. He pounds the clay to form a new right rectangular prism that has a base area of 2 2/3 square inches. What is the height of the new prism? Show your work. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to figure out what was the volume of his original prism, and how do we do that? We apply these numbers, we'll change them to improper fractions. So the improper fraction equivalent of this is here, the improper fraction equivalent of that is right here, and then this. So we'll apply those numbers to this formula. Length times width times height. All right, so let's go ahead and proceed with the computation. We should take advantage of any kind of reducing opportunities that we had before multiplying. So I'm going to propose that we do that right here and here. We can divide both of these by 3. This divided by 3 is 1. This divided by 3 is 3. And how about going this way? We can get rid of these 4s. Divide by 4 and get 1. Divide by 4 and get 1. All right, so it's all nicely simplified. Now we just have to go across and multiply our numerators. So if we multiply 10 times 3 times 1, that's going to give us 30. And if we do 1 times 1 times 1, that's going to equal 1. So the volume of the original prism is 30 cubic inches. So now we need to take that number and apply it to another formula. So you may remember in class, we've used a formula, volume equals big B times height. Now, why are we using this green formula? Do you see that we have an exponent of a 2 there, and they're telling you that this is the area of the base, this number. So we're going to use this to calculate the next step of this thing, which is to find the height. Now we know that the volume, because it's the same chunk of clay, it's going to have the same volume. So that means we're going to substitute this number right here that we just calculated into this green formula. All right, so let's do that. We're going to put the 30 underneath the V. We will put this number right here, but let's use the improper fraction equivalent. And I always encourage that, especially when you're talking about a fractional part. That's what we call one of those non-terminating. Because if you turn this into a fraction, just the 2/3, you would get that 0.6666, and it would just keep repeating. So when that's true, then let's be precise by making improper fraction equivalents, or I'm sorry, mixed numbers. This is a mixed number. We're going to turn into an improper fraction equivalent and use that in our formula. So that's going to be something thirds. Let's get the something by multiplying 3 times 2, which would be 6, plus the 2 more, which would make that 8. And then what we're looking for is they want to know the height. So we'll bring down that variable. And now we'll apply what we know about solving equations. So when we have a fraction coefficient like this, remember what we're doing is we're applying the inverse operation. And we would say to ourselves, what's the opposite of multiply a variable by 8/3? It would be to divide by 8/3. And I want to remind you that dividing by 8/3 is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So that means that we're going to be really putting the reciprocal of this value on both sides of the equation to solve this. All right, over here, this will all cancel out. The 8s and the 8s all equal 1. Likewise with the 3s. If we divide by 3, we get 1. If we divide by 3, we get 1. But you're supposed to know anytime you multiply something by its reciprocal, you get 1. So you really should be on what I call autopilot on that. So we'll just bring down the H. All right, so the only thing left you have to do is finish this computation. And feel free to reduce because both of these are divisible by 2. But even if you want to just go across and do 3 times 30 and come up with your numerator and then divide that by 8, then that will give you one of these answer choices. All right, good luck finishing that up.